Good evening. Welcome to the May 13th, 2019 Valley View School Board meeting. I would ask that you all stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, which I will ask Member Carlson to lead us in. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Member Perro, would you read the board affirmation statement?
Our mission is to empower all learners to be college and career ready and to develop, grow, and achieve as productive citizens.
Thank you. Dr. Mitchum, the agenda, if you would please.
Yes, I'd like to ask that the board approve the agenda as presented.
Motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Treasurer's report, Mr. Grisafi.
Recommendation begins with Treasurer's Action Report 5.1 to approve the interim obligation payments totaling $4,265,537.97, as well as a debt service payment totaling $2,250,968.75. Total of interim obligation payments for April 2019, $6,516,506.72.
Motion?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Member Perro?
Yes.
Member Carlson?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
Vice President Zach?
Yes.
President Quigley?
Yes.
Treasurer's Action Report 5.2 is the schedule of bills for the month of May. There are 7 funds representing bills payable of $2,545,500.83 for your action.
Motion?
So move.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, hearing none. Roll call vote would be in order.
Member Carlson?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? What are we voting on?
Oh, the schedule of bills?
Yes.
Monthly bills.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
Member
Yes.
Perro?
Yes.
Vice President Zach?
Yes.
President Quigley?
Yes.
3 additional information reports, the summary of investments, the state funding update, as well as the school's trust account activity, all contained within the packet. Do you have any questions?
Real quick, the state funding appears to drop a little bit, so we must have gotten some money from the great state of Illinois.
Yes, they just released the March payments, and so that's been updated here. So again, we're about as good a shape as we've been in a long time with the state.
2.8 million. Not too bad for this time of the year. Thank you. Anything else? Anybody else have any questions of Mr. Grisafi on 4.4 or 5.5? Seeing none, consent agenda items. Dr. Mitchum.
Yes, Mr. Quigley, I'd like to ask that the board approve consent agenda items 6.1 through 6.5. 6.1, board meeting minutes for 4/29/19. 6.2, executive session meeting minutes for 4/29/19. 6.3, school safety hazard transportation area. 6.4, gifts to Pioneer Elementary School, and 6.5, Valley View Education Enrichment Foundation grants.
So moved. Second.
Motion and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, hearing none. Roll call vote, please.
Member Perro?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Carlson?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
Vice President Zach?
Yes.
President Quigley?
Yes. Just to interrupt things, Mr. Lawler, would you like to come up and say a few things on behalf of the Enrichment Foundation? Mike Lawler is the president of the Valley View Educational Enrichment Foundation and a village trustee in the fine village of Bolingbrook and deputy mayor. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, President Quigley. Thank you, everyone. I'll just take a quick moment to thank the administration for the great partnership that we have and the support from the school board. We'll be releasing information. This is for the upcoming school year, not this school year, upcoming school year grant programs. Quick highlight, 79 grants were written by teachers and others for educational programs in the district, and we'll release the actual information once we notify the grant applicants. We thought we'd be fair and notify them first. That'll be coming up in a few days. But one of the things that we do is raise money from the community, so we're very thankful for the generosity of the community in being able to do this. We're heading into our 25th year, and we're at 965 programs, nearly $1.5 million in programs that go above and beyond the curriculum, designed by the great staff of Valley View. If you want to help in raising more money so we can fund more programs, we do have a golf outing on Thursday, June 6th at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. And there's information about that. I believe it's on our website, vveef.org, and then we may have something on the school district website. But again, I want to thank the administration that we met with regarding these grant programs, great review, and thank everyone involved in supporting this effort, and especially the grant writers who are awesome and incredible. Thank you.
And Mike has been the president since that was founded, correct? Chairman of the board? On the board. Come on, well, either way, it doesn't matter. I should have asked before you ran back to your seat. I'm going to give you the shameless plug. They just had a great fundraiser, the Kentucky Derby fundraiser, and now they're doing the annual golf outing. It's a 9 and dine, correct?
Correct. Nine holes, 9 and dine. People love it because you don't have to spend 6 to 8 hours on the golf course. Not that it's a bad thing, but you get on and off the golf course pretty quickly. And it's probably, people tell us it's the most enjoyable outing of the year.
Perfect.
So yeah, I've lost count how long I've been president, but there was the first president, Dave Micah. Second was Pat Clare. And then I was appointed after that, and I've been offering it to others since then, but nothing
you keep
yet.
showing up at the meetings. There you go.
Yes. And I do want to acknowledge two of our board members, Diane Perro and Deb Sikora. They've been on the foundation board for a while, helping us out. Deb has the wonderful task of reviewing all the grants with judges. None of us on the board are involved in selecting the grants. It's an anonymous process, and she does a great job of working with some great judges who score the grants and help us decide what should be funded. So.
Perfect. Thank you, and thanks again. Moving down the agenda, ACSO, Academic, Cultural, Technology, and Scientific Olympics, Bolingbrook High School. Dr. Pascavage is making his way.
If I could have our recipients also come up that are here today. Senior leadership, Dr. Mitchum, Board of Education, President Quigley. My first board meeting up here with Dr. Carlson in the seat. Welcome. Community, colleagues, and our Raiders. Today I'll be sitting in for Dorletta Payton. She was ill today, so she could not make this meeting. Usually she would have done this piece. So ACSO, organization that is very strong at our school. Last year we were the DuPage School of the Year for ACSO. It is the Afro-American Cultural, Technological, and Scientific Olympics. All right, that's a mouthful. One of the goals of ACSO is to mobilize the adult community for the promotion of academic and artistic excellence. When I look at the group of students behind me, not only are they some of our brightest students, but they're some of our most involved students. So now to go over our award winners, we have Thomas Reed, the director of the DuPage ACSO.
Thank you and greetings to everyone. I also get to work with our students as our enrichment chairperson, so I get a chance to see the students every month and work with them. It's always exciting to see them, and it's always exciting to prepare for the national competition. So these are our qualifiers who competed locally, won gold medal, and are going to Detroit this summer to compete against about 600 or 700 other students across the nation. And we have categories in humanities, performing arts, visual arts, STEM, and what am I forgetting? And visual arts. So I'm gonna have them come forward here. Justin Bolden will be representing us in oratory for silky smooth speech.
Wait, Justin. Go ahead right here, Justin. Shake hands with the board. We'll go all the way to the end.
Eva Martinez with her angelic voice, contemporary vocal music. Erica Neal is representing us in drawing. She has the artist's touch. Bryson Rivers will be representing us in chemistry. He's our mad scientist. And Jordan Sharber will be representing us in dramatics. She'll be getting a Tony or an Oscar one day. Thank you. And then not able to join us is Avia Weidman. She is representing us in two categories, poetry written and poetry performance. Thank you.
If you ever get the opportunity to go to an awards banquet where they give out the medals, it is probably one of the most exciting awards nights you'll ever see. The excitement of the families and the excitement of the students. They play music to each of the groups coming up. It is a treat.
Are you staying up there to do the badminton?
Yep.
Badminton it is.
All right, if we could get our all-staters to come up and our coaches.
So while you're doing that, I once had the opportunity to get smeared in a game of badminton with there's actually myself and another person were playing a girl who was an Olympian. So we were playing 2-on-1 and she smoked us and I was in my 20s. It was unbelievable how fast that game is.
So back in my youth at Brooks Middle School, Ms. Sikora and I had the chance to work with a state champion who's currently a teacher in our district. And she's now at Jane Addams, Tara Goodwin. And I told her that I could beat her in badminton, and I didn't score one single point. And by the end of it, she was hitting it at the birdie. She told me, at me. So badminton is a sport, trust me. Something unique about the badminton state qualifiers. I just talked to the coaches, but we were trying to figure it out while we found out they were going to state. It's the first time since the first year of the inception of the program in 2007 that we've had state qualifiers. So badminton, if you're not familiar with it, it is one of the most played sports at high school. It is not unusual to go into a badminton practice and see 60 to 70 girls, and I don't think most people would realize that, but it is a high participation sport. It's also extremely competitive. So congratulations to our girls, but I'm gonna have Coach Dupay come up to talk a little bit about our badminton.
Thank you. This was a very exciting season. As Dr. Paskevich said, it's been 12 years since anyone has qualified from our school, and this year we had 2 girls qualify. Both seniors, Michelle Gonzalez and Lily Torres, they played #1 doubles throughout the season. They were on varsity for 3 years. They placed very well at conference and at sectionals. Of all the girls I've coached over the last 7 years, these 2 are the most deserving. They have grown as players, and the sport has helped them as individuals. So I'm incredibly proud to introduce them. Michelle Gonzalez and Lily Torres.
While they're walking by, they actually called the state qualifiers before they even made it to the state tournament at the meet I was at. They said those 2 out there are going to be our state tournament team, so it's pretty cool to see them actually come through. All right. Good.
Pillars of Valley View. I don't have a sheet, so whoever it is, come on down. Oh.
Good evening, school board members, senior leadership, and community. I am April Vasic, the principal at Irene King Elementary School, and this is Patty Chow, my assistant principal. And behind me, we have our pillar, and I just want to tell a little bit about Patty Zach. I have known Patty for over 16 years, and I've had the pleasure of working with her throughout the district. Our relationship started when she had a child who attended Irene King Elementary School, and Patty was my room parent, and I was amazed at her organization, her dedication, not only just to my classroom, but to the entire school. We could count on her to help out in a moment's notice. She then went on to the Ad Center to work as a secretary in the curriculum department, and lo and behold, there I was again. She was my secretary and Mrs. Chow's when we were curriculum coordinators. So she couldn't get away from me. I followed her. And now I have the pleasure of sharing Patty with an entire school community at Irene King. Patty is not only an executive secretary at Irene King, she is truly a valued member of the Irene King community. It is the norm for you to observe Patty playing Uno with the students, assisting teachers at the copy machine, consoling students who just need a friendly voice to brighten their day. She connects with parents. She volunteers for our club. She's really great at painting rocks and paper mache. I have to say that. If you ever need a good snack, have a creative idea or a helping hand or a good story, it is a guarantee that Patty will be able to make you laugh. Her kind heart and dedication to the students, staff, and families make her a perfect pillar of Valley View, and I am so honored to have the pleasure of working with her, and hopefully I'll be able to work with her until she retires. I think Vic said like 72 she can go, so we'll be together for a long time. Thank you, April. And she'll probably get to keep the show. There you go.
Liaison reports, any and all from my right.
Yes.
Nope. Push the button, start talking.
I'd just like to mention a couple of kids. I sit on the Wilco. They had some scholarships from the Bolingbrook High School. It's Michaela Francisca for the early childhood. Romeoville had Marley Sinera for EMS. And then for the FCCLA State Competitive Championships, we had Sydney Bulcher from Romeoville. She finished in first place and received a gold. Thank you.
Got it. Any board liaison reports from my left? At this time, Romeoville High School's liaison report. Come on up.
Hi, my name is Tegan Snyder, and tonight I would like to honor our Best Buddies program here at Romeoville High School. This has been an outstanding year for the program. With us here tonight are the club president, Emily Hughes, Emily Leahy, Faith Miller, Sarah Kaufman, Monse Gutierrez, Michael Radcliffe, and our prom king, Ryan Jackson, and our sponsors, Miss Christopher, Miss Vermeulen, and also with us tonight is Miss Marianne Hill. She is the RHS teacher who has started Best Buddies at RHS. This program means so much to its club's members and to our school. Best Buddies has helped teach our students to be respectful, kind, and inclusive to all students. The culture this club has created, maintained at RHS is phenomenal. We are so proud of all its hard work, countless hours, and the heart they put in to make sure that each student in their program feels welcome, feels included, and has a friend at RHS. Some highlights of the year for Best Buddies include the annual Christmas party, Alta Day, and the end of the year picnic. Each year at the Christmas party, former students from the multi-needs room return to celebrate the holiday season with food, friends, and of course gifts. Our friends at Alta have been fantastic this year and have volunteered their time at several of our events, including the Christmas party. We would like to thank Alta for all they have done with our program. Two major highlights of this year include our sponsors, Ms. Christopher and Ms. Val Murin, being honored at the IDSA conference as outstanding club sponsors. They were the only Best Buddy sponsors to be honored at this event. Congrats to our sponsors. Additionally, the chapter has been selected to receive the High School Chapter of the Year award. This award will be given to our chapter at the Friendship Walk at Soldier Field on June 2nd, on stage in front of over 2,000 people. This award is even more special because our chapter was selected out of all of the Best Buddies high school chapters in the state of Illinois. Congrats to our Best Buddies program.
Thank you. Bolingbrook High School. Apparently no report from Bolingbrook. Next, audience participation. Anybody in the audience wish to address the board this evening? Seeing none, hearing none. Action reports, student due process case. Dr. Mitchell.
Yes, Mr. Quigley, I'd like to ask that the board approve student due process case A as presented.
Motion?
So moved.
Motion and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none. Roll call vote, please.
Member Carlson?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Member Peril?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
Vice President Zach?
Yes.
President Quigley.
Yes. Mr. Gazafi. Oh, I'm sorry. Ms. Kinder.
Yes, sir. I do have one action report, 11.1. This is Board Policy 7180, preventing bullying, intimidation, and harassment under the section of policy pertaining to students. This was brought at the last board meeting for your review, and as part of our typical process, we regularly review policy in accordance with state guidance, state and federal law, and in coordination with our legal counsel.
Thank you. Motion.
So moved.
Motion and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Member Peril?
Yes.
Member Carlson?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
Vice President Zach?
Yes.
President Quigley.
Yes. Mr. Gazafi, technology infrastructure upgrades.
At our last meeting, we brought to you an information report regarding the technology infrastructure upgrades for the ensuing school year. It consisted of two components. One is a proposal to upgrade the high school classroom technology, which would consist of 328 classroom projectors, sound bars, screens, and associated labor to install those. The second component is a proposal to provide upgraded infrastructure and network connectivity using the federal E-rate program. And those are listed in your packet as well. And so tonight we are recommending the approval to purchase technology items to upgrade those classroom technologies as illustrated, as well as the network infrastructure at a cost of $607,742 to be covered with the utilization of a tech lease as we have done in the past.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and seconded. Is there any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Member Gilbo?
Yes.
Member Peril?
Yes.
Member Carlson?
Yes.
Member Campbell? Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
Vice President Zach?
Yes.
President Quigley.
Yes.
Second action this evening is a recommendation to approve the letter of understanding between the Board of Education and BWP and Associates. They are the firm that has been determined to be serving the best interest of the school district to conduct a superintendent search. A little bit about the firm. They're based in Libertyville. They've conducted searches in 37 states with at least 100 searches being conducted here in Illinois alone. The letter of understanding stipulates the selection of a successful candidate will be made no later than January 30th of 2020, with an employment start date of July 1st of 2020. The cost for the services is $17,900 plus expenses estimated to be $2,500. The attached letter has been reviewed by our legal counsel, and thus the recommendation is to approve the letter of understanding as presented.
So move.
Second?
Motion and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Yes, I had a question about one of the other firms had like a $13,000, but I never got an answer to my question about this firm and their price. So I don't know who was supposed to answer that question, but I never got an answer.
Ms. Campbell, I believe you're referencing IASB, and the difference with that entity is they represent the school districts, and so they're not able to go and recruit candidates who are currently at those member school districts to come to this school district.
How was they in the consideration? Why did you send me an email to discuss about them when they're not sufficient enough to do the job?
I did not make a decision as to who was going to be the appropriate company to do the superintendent search. I proffered the information to the board to make that decision.
Any other questions?
I do. If this is the one that we go with, it says in here that we would use different means, and I'm hoping and kind of trying to put a little exclamation point on to say, please make sure that the community is involved, not only virtually through a survey, but if the community would like to physically have meetings with any of the board or administration or teachers themselves or anybody else about input or anything about the process, that we do that before we go through with anything else. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you. We have a motion, we have a second. No further discussion. Vote.
Member
Roll call
Perro?
vote.
Oh.
Can't do it.
Yes.
Member Carlson?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
No.
Member Gilbo?
No.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
Vice President Zach?
Yes.
President Quigley?
Yes. Ms. Nash, action report number 13.
Yes, sir. Action report 13.1 is the consolidated action report for this evening. Tonight we are seeking your approval on 54 items for certified personnel, 19 items for classified personnel, 2 items for classified administrative personnel, and 2 items for certified administrative personnel.
Second.
Motion and seconded. Is there any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Gilbo?
No.
Member Perro?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
Vice President Zach?
Yes.
President Quigley?
Yes. Next, information reports.
We've got 2 information reports from me this evening. The first is a annual consolidated instructional and operations software maintenance renewal. We typically bring this to you at this time of year to ask for your approval on various software packages that support the district. These are enterprise level packages or software packages used primarily to support instruction, of which there are 10 titles, as well as operations, of which there are 8 titles. There's a little bit of description of each of the packages and as well as the cost. We do have some cost increases year over year based on additional modules that may have been added, annual cost increases, or expiring contracts where there maybe was not a renewal cost last year because it was part of a multi-year package, and this year there would be a cost. So happy to answer any questions for you at this time. We'd like to bring this back to you for consideration and for approval at the May 28th board meeting.
You got 2 weeks to call Gary and ask him if you have questions, if you don't have them now.
Second information is a security camera backup server. We currently have 356 cameras scattered throughout all of our campuses, supported by 26 servers, which are locally based, meaning that the cameras that are in each respective building are supported by a local server. If one of those servers were to go down or malfunction, we would have no way to recover any of the lost video. And so that's been a concern of ours as we come to rely more and more on these videos to provide any sort of ability to review incidents that may happen within any of our buildings. This has been on our radar for some time, and so we've been looking at probably for the last 6 months for a solution. The best solution we feel at this time is a 200 terabyte centralized server, which would allow us to back up every building security footage nightly and retain at least 30 days of video from each building. The other option we considered was a cloud storage option, which we found the cost to be $80,000, and that was a discounted price using a current cloud storage provider. And being already a customer, they did offer us a discount, but that $80,000 would be an annual cost. This $80,000 that we're, $78,000 that we're asking for would come with a 5-year warranty, would be a one-time cost. And we felt it would provide us with that redundant backup that we're looking for with the reliance on video playback as we've come to rely on. So again, we'll be bringing this back to you at our next board meeting.
Any questions? You have 2 weeks to talk to Gary. Thank you. Moving down the agenda, Legal Services Report.
No formal report.
Thank you. Association reports, AFT. Thank you. Valley View Council report, no? And Office Personnel Council report. Thank you. Any old business before the board this evening?
There should be, because I've asked about 7 times to consider putting on there about having not just Honor Society do community service. And I asked that the last time, so I'm prayerfully that at the next agenda, there will be some discussion about this subject matter. Can you guys hear me? Because I hear ears looking like that. You can hear me? Now you can hear me? Okay, let me repeat myself. I said that there should be some old business discussion because I brought this to the board for the last couple of years since I've attended the National School Board Association, and I've missed the last 2, so it has been 2 years that I've brought this to the attention, and as late as the last school board meeting, I asked us to consider about community service hours as requirement for graduations. So I'm going to prayerfully consider that the audience, the community, and this diocese up here have heard me, so we'll have some discussion at the next meeting.
I would be happy to put you and another member on a committee, ad hoc committee, to sit down with Rachel, high school principals, whoever might be appropriate to discuss that, and a number. Those, if you've got a recommendation for a certain amount of hours that might be requisite, and so on and so forth, and what would be acceptable as, quote, community service.
I'm happy to participate in that and support the conversation with some research and other voice being brought to the table. So I'm happy to take the lead on that.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I'd just like to know why it took you 2 years. Well, you said right here last board meeting, and if you were going to make the assignments, why we couldn't have done it at the last board meeting?
I reached out to Rachel after the board meeting, and I asked her to start to look into it a little bit because you did make a point to it.
Okay, you talked to Rachel, but nobody talked to me. That's my discussion, okay? Discuss it with me since it was my idea. Make me feel like I'm involved in this. Thank you very much.
This is not new. We've had discussion about, during, I believe it was our, when we still had the curriculum committee, we discussed community service in quite detail. So,
We have discussed it multiple times over the years. So, I mean, it's We
So
can
let's bring
definitely
it out.
restart the conversation and bring some formality to it, because I do believe it has been discussed at multiple points over the past several years, at least that I can recall. And we're happy to bring some formality to that so that it actually can, we can determine where it stands and move forward with it if that's the voice.
Thank you. Any questions of any new business this evening?
I just have a question. If Mr. Christofi, if I could get an answer to that original question that I had, now that we found it. Thank you.
Any announcements by the board? Any announcements by the administration?
I'd just like to reiterate
Hang
my
on.
thanks to the,
Any questions from the public on actions we have taken this evening? I jumped over one. Hearing none, seeing none. Dr. Mitchum.
just like to reiterate my thanks to the Valley View community during Teacher Appreciation Week last week. I'd like to thank all of them, as well as anyone else who works for the district, both certified and classified. Your work does not go unnoticed, and it's very appreciated, so thank you again.
Amen.
Any announcements by the public? Seeing none, hearing none. A motion to adjourn would be in order.
So moved. Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Post same sign. Have a safe evening. See you in a couple weeks.